Hey Visa Warriors, welcome back to David Got Laid Off channel. If you are stressing because your visa was approved, you left your passport at the embassy, but now the CEAC status says administrative processing. Wow, hold up, don't hit the panel button just yet. I have been getting tons of emails, DMs, and comments from you guys asking why did my status change from ready to AP? Is my visa in trouble? Today, I'm breaking it all down in a way that is clear, funny, and super easy to follow. Stick around because I'm dropping all the tea on what administrative processing really means, how it's different from 221J refusal, and what to expect next. Let's dive right in. You just need to record and post it. What are you waiting for? The big question, why did my status change to AP? Let's set the scene. You aced your visa interview. Congrats. The consular officer gave you the green words. Your visa is approved. And congratulations, welcome to the United States. You left your passport with the embassy for a shiny visa stamp, and you're probably feeling on top of the world right now. But then you check the CEAC website to track your immigration visa or your diversity visa or your CR1 or IR1 visa status, and bam, it's gone from ready to administrative processing. Cue the anxiety, right? Here is the deal. This is totally normal. When the embassy says your visa is approved, they still need to process it. That means they are doing behind the scenes work to get your visa printed and stamped on your passport. During this time, your CEAC status will change from ready to administrative processing, or AP for short. It's just their way of saying we are working on it. Think of it like your pizza order is being in the oven. It is not ready yet to eat, but it is getting there. That is how your visa status also will change from ready to administrative processing based on the fact that the visa has not been stamped in your passport yet. I know this can be frustrating, but that is how the process goes. Administrative processing for those who have been approved of their visa means that they are actually printing or getting ready to print your visa in your passport. So it will take some couple of time, maybe 3 to 2 weeks for your visa to be printed. AP versus 221J refusal. Know the difference. Now I know some of you are thinking, but it isn't administrative processing a bad thing? Great question. Let's clear the confusion. There is a big difference between AP you are seeing after an approval of your visa and an AP tied to 221G refusal. If your visa was approved and you left your passport at the embassy, your AP is just the standard process of them finalizing your visa. It's like your embassy putting a final touches on your travel dreams. This usually takes from 3 days to actually 10 business days. That means 2 weeks. Sometimes a smuggle longer time than usual. Then your status from the CEAC website should flip from administrative processing to issue. That is when your passport is ready to be mailed back to you, or it is scheduled for you to be actually picked up at the embassy. That shiny visa inside your passport. But this is a big but. If you got a 221J refusal, this is a different story. With the 221J, the embassy may keep your passport depending on the situation, or the embassy can give you back your passport, or you can request back your passport from the consular. They then hand you back a document saying, hey, we need more information or more documents before we can move forward with your application or with your case. This could mean extra background checks, legal reviews, or additional paperwork that needs to be submitted. During this time, your status will move from ready to refuse, pending the submission of the required documents the consular requested from you, or required documents that needs to be reviewed or verified. This process can take anywhere from 3 days to actually 6 months. 3 months to 6 months, most of the time what I have seen in my era. And all this will depend on what they are actually reviewing, what they are actually verifying, or what they are actually waiting for you to actually submit. This is a variance from what they are expecting from you to submit or what they are expecting to actually perform on your case. Let me recap before I go into a more recent topics. So for a quick recap, your visa was approved and your status shows that you are on AP. Your passport stays at the embassy and they are just processing your stamp at the moment. Expect it very quick. Sometimes the consular will tell you it's going to be ready from 1 to 2 weeks. I know it is very frustrating looking at the website or status on the CEAC website, but you have to take your time. It is up to 1 to 2 weeks. Sometimes there is holidays in the US and this could take a little bit longer, but be patient. The 1 to 2 weeks that the consular give you, your visa is going to be ready. 221G refusal AP. You either keep your passport or you leave it at the embassy pending submission of the required documents. Then you get the documents with instructions. You need to provide more information. This one can take longer. Let me move on to the challenges of transferring your case from another country to another country. So you transferred your case from your resident country, the country that you are actually in terms of where you initially wanted to interview, but because of backlog, you transferred your case to another country. All right, visa warriors, let's talk about that topic. Transferring your case to another country to dodge those crazy backlogs sometimes is a genius move, right? Well, it can be. It is not all smooth sailing. I am getting a tons of questions about what happens when you switch your case to a new consulate. So let's dive right into the biggest hurdle you might face and how to tackle them like a pro. First off, transferring your case doesn't always mean a first track to approval. Some folks get lucky and sail through it with a quick approval. Boom, visa at hand. But others, they hit a wall, like getting slapped with a 221G refusal without any clear action item. Why? Sometimes the consulate is not familiar with the documents you are actually submitting, especially if you are from a different country. Imagine handling a police report from, let's say, Kenya to a consulate who is actually in Poland. It's going to be very difficult for him to actually be familiar with that document, or handling a marriage certificate from Nigeria to someone in Burkina Faso or a consulate in Burkina Faso. They are going to be very difficult to actually recognize those kind of documents. So these are some of the hurdles that you can face when you actually transfer your case from another country to another country. Unfamiliarizing themselves with the documents you actually submitted. The officer might raise an eyebrow and say, "What is this?" That is when things get tricky. On that note, you can expect a full-on interrogation about the ties to the new country. The consulate officer might grill you with questions like, how long have you lived here? How did you get your resident permit? Where is this police report from? If you haven't been in the country for at least 6 months, they will dig even deeper. These interviews can take from 30 minutes to 60 minutes or an hour or more. They might even ask for specifics like the contact information of the person who issued you your police report, or someone who actually helped you to acquire your police report and your resident permit. These are all questions, these are all hurdles to frustrate you getting to the finish line. And these things can be based on the fact that the documents look suspicious. Maybe you are going in a group and everybody within the group has the same approval for their police report. Let's say John approved 20 people's police report. The consulate will look at the documents and look at it as being suspicious based on the fact that one police officer has approved 20 people's police report. That is coincidentally. So how do you actually avoid these pitfalls? Be prepared and be honest. When you transfer your case, you have to have a solid reason why you are transferring your case or interviewing in another country. You have to document or come up with a plan of saying that this is the reason why I actually transferred my case from my resident country to this new country. Some of these things can be like a job, family, or a legal resident, and you have to back it up with legit documents and make sure they are ones that the embassy knows and trusts. One of the quick tips I can give you is that when you transfer your case, kindly visit your country's embassy and let them certify or notarize all the documents that you are going to be submitting to the new country, so that this can be the fact that it was notarized and verified by your station country before you transfer your case to another country, for it to be very smooth and sincere. Your resident permit may look unfamiliar. Let that country or let your resident embassy actually notarize it for a smooth sailing. These things, unfamiliarity with documents, can slow your case and it can prolong your case even further, and it will be more than even transferring it from your backlog country to the new country. Pro tips: do your homework on the embassy you are transferring to. Some consulates are more used to handling foreign documents than others. For example, a busy hub like Warsaw in Poland might be smoother than transferring your case to a smaller post like Burkina Faso. And always tell a genuine story about why you are there. The consular officer can spot a shaky story from a miles away, and you don't want to risk a 221G or further delays. Got it? If you are still confused, drop your questions in the comments and I will hook you up with answers. So your question may be, how long does AP takes? Alright, the $1,000,000 question. How long will I be stuck in AP before my visa is actually issued? If your visa was approved and your passport is with the embassy, you're usually looking at 3 to 2 weeks. Actually, it will depend on what the consulate actually tells you. Sometimes they'll tell you 1 to 3 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks. It depends on what they tell you. So whatever they tell you is what is actually going to happen. That is mostly, unless there is something fishy about the documents that they did not review correctly before your interview. Once they are done, your standard will update to issue and your passport will be sent back to you or ready for you to pick it up at the embassy. Now, if you are in the 221G territory, the timeline is trickier. It could be a few days, a few weeks, or even months, or even few months, or even more than a half a year. That is 6 months. The key here is for you to act fast. If the embassy asks for more documents or information, get those submitted as soon as possible to keep things moving. The sooner you comply, the faster they can review your documents or your case. Let me give you a pro tip. Keep checking the CEAC website regularly, but don't be stressed of it. It is important you check. I've seen people who got approved and it was actually in administrative processing and it flicked back to refused. You have to be checking your CEAC website regularly so that if any changes come to your case, you can actually email the embassy. It's very important to be checking your status every time, but don't be actually frustrated about the status that you see. Sometimes it could be of system lag. They are just ramping with application. Patience is the friend here. I'm just going to be wrapping it up. Don't stress, you have got this. So let's recap the journey. You nailed your interview, your visa was approved, and your passport is with the embassy. Your CEAC status might flip from ready to administrative processing as they finalize your visa stamp. This is normal, and this usually takes a week or two. If you are dealing with a 221 refusal, that is a bit different kind of AP, and you will need to follow the embassy's instructions to move forward. Either way, don't let the term administrative processing freak you out. It's just part of the process, and you are one step away from your visa dreams. If this video helped you, smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss the next video. I'm here to answer all your visa questions, so drop them in the comment section or shoot me an email. I got you. And if you want to support the channel, you can always check the link in the description. Let's keep the visa vibes going, and I will catch you in the next video.